Hi Year 3, welcome to your Week 2 literacy video. Now I hope last week you really enjoyed exploring Charlotte's Web. I'd like to say a particular well done to Kyle Josh for the lovely illustration that he sent in of Wilbur and Fern on the farmyard. So well done, Kyle. This week's book is a surprise because, like literacy in school, we don't often read the story to you completely, nor do we often show you the front cover. So this week's title is a little bit of a secret and I'm not going to show you the front cover. You're going to have to log on to Purple Mash to have a look. What I am going to do for you is read you an extract from the story, which you can download on a PDF file from Purple Mash and follow, or ask a member of your family to read to you. So are you sitting comfortably? Here we go. Our story begins on the ocean with wind and rain and thunder and lightning and waves. A hurricane roared and raged through the night, and in the middle of the chaos, a cargo ship was sinking. Down, down, down to the ocean floor. The ship left hundreds of crates floating on the surface. But as the hurricane thrashed and swirled and knocked them around, the crates also began sinking into the depths. One after another, they were swallowed up by the waves until only 5 crates remained. By morning, the hurricane was gone. There were no clouds, no ships, no land in sight. There was only calm water and clear skies, and those 5 crates lazily bobbing along an ocean current. Days passed, and then a smudge of green appeared on the horizon. As the crates drifted closer, the soft green shapes slowly sharpened into the hard edges of a wild, rocky island. The first crate rode to shore on a tumbling, rumbling wave and then crashed against the rocks with such force that the whole thing burst apart. Now, that extract had a lot of dramatic language and imagery in that. And during your explore session on Monday, have a read of that extract a few times, or listen to me reading that a couple of times, or asking a member of your family to read it to you 3 or so times. And then we want you to think about what you've just read. How does the story opening make you feel? Where do you think the story opens at? Where is it set? And what parts of that opening extract really stick in your mind as a reader? Which words or phrases did you like hearing? Which had a powerful impact on you listening to it? Take the extract, you might want to circle words, magpie words, make a list of them as you're exploring, reading and listening to that piece. On the Tuesday, when you come to illustrate it, again, have another opportunity to read that piece that I've just done and think about the imagery that is painted in your mind as a reader. What words or adjectives or noun phrases are used in that piece that capture the picture or mood of that scene? And we want you to then, using whatever medium you like, crayons, paint, colouring pencils, we want you to draw that image that you've read. Now, when you read that extract, the opening of that extract paints a very different image to the end of that extract. So you may decide to split your paper in half and show what image is painted at the beginning of the extract and how that differs at the end. See what you thought in your head and what that looks like when you put it onto paper. Now, when you get to Wednesday, this is where you talk about what you've read. And what we want you to do is just magpie words and phrases that show how forceful that hurricane was. Why did so many crates sink? And we want to think about the events on the night of that storm. Now, this is a speaking and listening lesson. And in the last video that I posted last week, we talked about one of your lessons each week. Right in the middle is always about you talking about what you've read. And what would be really nice if you filmed yourself in this speaking and listening lesson, making a weather report of the night of the storm or the hurricane, and then maybe a weather report of what it was like the next day. And think about the language and the style that you might record that report in. Maybe have a look at a BBC weather forecast and do it in the style of that when you're trying to create a forecast for the weather at the beginning of that extract and the following day. Now on Thursday, we want you to imagine it. And in this particular task, we want you to think about what is inside the box. Can you think of any other stories that have something that's been washed up on a rocky shore? Can you name any other authors who've written books that have a scene where something lands in a horrible, dark, stormy night and ends up the next day in another place that it shouldn't have been? And finally, your fifth task is to have a look at the front cover of the book, which is on a PDF document on purple mash, and think about whether what you read matches that front cover. Have a think about what was in that box and was it what you expected? Maybe what you could do is, using that initial extract that I read, create a story map or a story world of what happens in that story next. We often create a senses grid, don't we, when we're in school and we're doing literacy. So what you could do is create a grid on a plain sheet of paper, writing down what you would see, what you would hear, what you would touch, what you would smell, and what you would taste. Think about lots of different noun phrases or adjectives you could use to describe that scene on the shore. And then what we'd like you to do is maybe write the story based on your imagination. What do you think is going to happen next? What comes out of that box? Is it going to be something good? Is it going to be something dark? Is it going to be something scary or happy? Is it going to be something that's alive? Is it going to be something that's real or imaginary? And what happens to whatever's in the box? What journey does it go on that rocky shore? Does it end up meeting something else? Does it end up getting rescued at the end of the story? And you may want to use a story mountain to map out and plan your story, or draw a story map to show what you think will happen. I'm sure you're quite intrigued about what that front cover is, but what I am going to do is show you, before I finish, a picture of the box, the crate that landed on that rocky shore. And I hope that helps you to have a think about what might be inside. Now, the two pieces that Miss Robinson and I would like you to submit as part of your work for literacy this week is the writing task. So we'd really like to see your stories that you create about what was in the box and what happened to the character, real or imaginary, inside. And the other task that we would like you to send in is your picture. So your illustrated. We'd love to see your drawings of the two scenes at the beginning of the extract and the end of the extract. Really looking forward to seeing your work, Year 3, and Miss Robbins and I are so proud of all the learning that you're doing so far. Take care, and I'll see you next week with a new story to look at and learn.